Hello, hello, and welcome back to 365 days of videos slash lives. And today, again, we are live, and it is day 65, woohoo, which means we've got 300 to go. So those numbers are going up pretty quickly. And today, I thought I would share something that somebody asked me around the subject, of course, of being visible and visibility. And they said, Jenny, I need a breakthrough. So consider this another Dear Jenny session, a bit like a visibility specialist mashup with an agony aunt. So today I wanted to talk about this in a little bit more detail because this person, when they asked me this, they said, I really need a breakthrough. And in fact, I should read the full thing that they said. If I can, let me just flip over on my screen here. And then I will be able to tell you. They said, I need a breakthrough with my confidence issues around visibility. There's a lot to unpack in that sentence, but I thought I would share some of it here as well, because it doesn't matter whether you're the chief executive, CEO of a company, whether you're the founder of your own business, whether you work in someone else's business, whether you're just getting started in your career, maybe you're a graduate, or an apprentice, maybe you're very early on in your career, maybe you're midway through, maybe you're senior leadership, or even this question has also come from people who have been really great at what they do, stayed at what they do, and for whatever reason have taken a break. Maybe they've gone into a different industry and come back. Maybe they've gone off to have a family and come back. Maybe they've gone off to do some traveling. Maybe their mental health, suffered throughout, whether it was a pandemic phase and before, during, or afterwards. This is a really common question. So the first thing I want you to know is, if you are almost secretly feeling this, secretly harboring this thought, this feeling, this question for yourself, it is completely natural. And you are completely normal. I want you to know this because I know that sometimes we go online to get our resources, to find out more information, whether it's Google or any other search engine, whether it's a social media channel that you love, or whether it's one that you feel you have to be on for business, or whether it's one that you just kind of scroll through because you just enjoy it and it's a way that you spend your time. Of course, you can get your information from books, many books, a lot of which I have behind me. And I'd say a big majority of those are around people, personal development, self-development, professional development. I enjoy introducing my audiences to those books, as I have done over the years. But the thing is, when somebody says, I need a breakthrough, and they follow it with, I need a breakthrough with my confidence issues around visibility, this actually tells me something. It's like it gives me clues as to how they're thinking about it. So the first thing is, when somebody says, I need a breakthrough, and then whatever comes after it, they have a belief that what they're saying is true. And it's true for them in that moment, or it might be true for them permanently, long term. It might be something they've always told themselves, or something they've just started telling themselves because of, circumstances and things that are happening around them. So the first reason that anybody would say something like this to themselves, and again, this is very common, the first reason anybody would say something like this to themselves is because they are fearful of something. They have a fear around something. They're afraid. And those levels of fear could be on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being, it makes me feel slightly anxious, but I can do it anyway, to 10, this makes me feel really, really anxious, and I just can't do it. It literally paralyzes me. I just can't continue. So remember that for anything that you have any concerns about, anything that you have any worries about, anything that you are fearful of, anything that feels a bit less than, it doesn't feel great to you, is a belief that you believe to be true. And as the saying goes, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right. So that's the first thing to remember. Just making sure that I am streaming where I'm supposed to. Yes, I am. So for those of you watching this, or maybe you've caught this and you want to watch back later, there's 3 places that you can watch this. On my Facebook page, which is Jenny Kovacs, the Queen of Being Seen, as it says down there. You can find it by typing in @visibilityvibe, but without the S. You can find me on LinkedIn just by searching Jenny Kovacs. You'll find me, the Queen of Being Seen, visibility specialist. Or you can even go over to YouTube and type in @Jenny Kovacs, my name there. That's how you spell it. No K at the end. And if you type that in, it will show you my YouTube channel, which you'll be able to subscribe to and see any videos that I do. Not only the ones that I'm doing for a whole consecutive year, but anything else in between. Really good, like a resource library, worth watching. So back to the whole concept of the fear, the concerns, the worries. It's what we believe to be true, and whether we think we can't or whether we think we can, we are right. But it doesn't mean that that can't be changed. So here are a couple of different ways to look at that kind of fear. If you found yourself thinking, gosh, this is scary, oh, I don't like this, or something else. In a way, it should be called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, but there's already been a book about that, so we won't plagiarize. Sue Jeffers' very good book, which I know I've got behind me. I can see it there on the red. It's got a red spine. So Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. I'm just looking to make sure, because I'm getting a funny message. I'm going to say Feel the Fear and Be Visible. I'm actually going to share this with another channel that I have. Okay, so here are 3 things you can do if you find yourself saying, I really need a breakthrough. Because what a lot of people do is they focus on the concern, the worry, or the fear. And it's good to know what the concerns, worries, or fears are, because then you've got a place to go. You've got something that you can do with it. But a lot of people then go into the fear and trying to somehow overcome the fear or reverse the fear. And in the work that I've done, specifically with private clients, because it's easier to find out what's going on, very specifically for them. In the work that I've done with them, we go to the root cause. So thing number 1 that we do, sometimes we go at things, whether it's a goal or whether it is a fear, where we feel like we need a breakthrough. And in this case, it's around visibility and confident visibility. What we do is we think about the thing and we think of it like a dream. And this is like 2 sides of the same stick. On one side is the fear and the concern. On the other side is the dream, the vision, the plan. But what we do is we keep it somehow in our psyche that it's dreamlike. Oh, it's out there somewhere. Can't quite see it. Can't quite grab it. Don't know whether I'll ever be able to do it. So in this case, where we talk about where somebody wants to be visibly confident, or visible and confident in their visibility, which kind of changes the context, I know. But in those, what they'll need to do is reach a place where they can make a commitment. So the reason that we identify the fear first is so that we know what it is we're dealing with in this particular scenario. I don't recommend trying to do this for everything. Oh, snakes, spiders, dust, people, whatever. Just pick one thing and work through it. And if you can't do it by yourself, which a lot of people can't, or they leave it stagnant for years and years and years, then work with a coach, find somebody that can help. Now, of course, if you're talking about visibility, about confidence, I am your gal. But if you're talking about, I don't know, you've got a fear of spiders and things like that, although I've studied and can train out neuro-linguistic programming, otherwise known as NLP, it's not something that I specialize in. Yes, I can do it, but it's not the lane that I choose to swim in. So if you're stuck and you have got something else, speak to me anyway. I've got quite a wide network of different people and contacts that I normally find out what it is that is going on for you, what you think you need, and can, recommend the best person or people for you. So then you can go off and check what resonates with you. So we tend to look at it as a dream, whichever side of the stick we're on. the antidote to the dream is to start to make a commitment. And depending on where you are in this process, usually if you're doing this alone, just, trying to do mantras or affirmations or reading things or watching things on YouTube, it's likely that you're still kind of swaying between the moment before the magic, which is making a commitment. And this is not disparaging for you. This is just what we do as human beings. So sometimes we need some help or some steer to help us to get to there, but we need to be motivated to do it. And that's the bit that I always suggest people work with somebody with, because it's a really quick route to get into where you want to be and your desired outcome. So first thing is, let's change that dream, whether it's an aspiration or a goal, or whether it's a fear or, a concern or a worry. Let's get a commitment on that, because once you are motivated and you've made a commitment, it makes it easier for you to navigate through. You don't even have to know the exact steps you're going to take, but once you get to that place of commitment, it makes it easier for you to move through. The second piece, and this often gets missed off, and I think there's especially if you haven't worked with a coach or a mentor before, I think there's a thought that you go to them and they drive you, tell you that you can do it, you've got this, and all of that kind of stuff, which I know it says on my thing there, but it also says hope today is magic. And in order to be able to move through it, it's not the coach or the mentor that pushes you, it's you that pushes yourself. And a good coach, a good mentor, a good guide will be able to help you do this, okay, in the specific area that you're looking at. So the question for you, the thing for you after you've made that commitment, is looking at the ecology of it. It's not even how much do you want it, do you really want it? And a lot of the time, even though out of our mouths we go to say yes, underneath the surface we're actually saying no. But there's reasons for that, and it depends on the person, again, which is why these are great as kind of solo conversations with one person that you can trust and that knows how to do this, so that they can move you through. Now, this isn't to say that it's not as effective in groups. In fact, I've got something coming up in September, Iconic, and we did that as a small group before, and we had a lot of breakthroughs. And those breakthroughs, I think, were facilitated by the fact that the program ran in group calls. If you couldn't make the group call, you could watch back, and sometimes watching someone else's experience taps into your experiences and you get a breakthrough that way. And you also were supported with private calls with me. So wherever you were in that journey and going through, you were supported. And what I thought was interesting about the last round of Iconic is that more people sat on the side of the stick of ambition, drive, aspiration, goals, than on the fear side. Yes, there are some things that people feared along the journey, but they were kind of on a 1 to 10 scale. They were kind of at a 5, 5 or 6. So it didn't stop them. They were just aware of it and they really wanted to get rid of it. They were motivated to get rid of it. So they committed to being part of Iconic to be able to do that. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, if you have a look on my Facebook page and if you have a look on my LinkedIn page, I've literally just I think in the last 24 hours posted a little teaser that starts in September. But if you want to kind of cut that out and find out a bit more about it, I would suggest you send me a message. I'll send you a link to schedule a call. I'm not going to sell you into this. You need to be sold into whatever it is you want to do with yourself and your own visibility. And then on the call, you will tell me kind of what it is about that piqued your interest. I'll ask you some questions about where you are and I'll let you know if it's a good fit for you. If it isn't, I'll let you know what is instead, or the other thing for you to do. So make sure that your ecology is on point, that your yes really is a yes. And what I love to do is listen to what the layers are underneath, the concerns, the things that might be stopping you, because sometimes it takes a coach just to play that back and then the person literally has a breakthrough, a light bulb moment. Then I love it because when I'm doing this either in person or on Zoom, you literally see the person, the anxiety melt away from the person. It's really like unshackling, and they become very free. I love that because it means that they have the freedom to go ahead and do the things that they want to do in their life, in their career, in their own visibility journey too. It's such a blessing to be able to witness somebody going through that. So the third thing that I see people do, especially when they want a breakthrough, especially when it comes to visibility and doing it in a confident way, is that they derail themselves. And the best way for me to explain how somebody derails theirself is to tell you a very brief story. So when my lovely little nephew was about, I reckon about 3 now, maybe 3, maybe 4, but very young. My nephew's grandmother, my mum, bought some strawberry plants for my nephew because my nephew loved strawberries. Don't know if he still does now. I think he does. Absolutely loved strawberries and was fascinated by the fact that when he went to grandma's house, he could pick strawberries and they could be washed and he could eat them. So grandma decided it'd be a really great idea to buy some strawberries, some strawberry plants. So she did that. She planted them. My nephew watched as she planted them, watered them, and set them in. And grandma explained to him that what will happen is every day when the sun comes up, it will shine on the plants, get nice and strong, the leaves will grow, the plants will get bigger, there will be some flowers that appear. And then once the flowers have appeared, strawberries will start to grow from them. So, that's a pretty kind of extensive explanation, I guess, as an adult. But as a child, there were likely to be gaps missing in that. So a very excited nephew diligently promised grandma that he would water the plants and look after them and grow his own strawberries. So what happens next is his mum, my sister, then described something that was quite comical, but in that is something that I see people do all the time. The next morning, my little nephew was so excited. Out he went to the garden to have a look. And to him, nothing much changed. This can't be right, he thought. Pulls the strawberry plant out, turns it upside down, looks at its roots. There's no strawberries. Drops it on the surface, does it to the next plant, goes and tells his mum, there's no strawberries yet. Mum says, yes, you have to wait. Goes into the garden to realise what's happened. The strawberry plants have been uprooted and has to replant them, and says, look, darling, you need to leave them to grow. They will grow. Grandma's right. Leaves will come, flowers will come, fruit will form, and then when it grows, you'll be able to eat them. But my nephew just couldn't grasp this concept. So a number of times on a daily basis, the strawberry plants would be found, pulled out, roots just on the top of the soil, which of course doesn't help them to grow. This is exactly the same as when we need a breakthrough. Our goals, our aspirations will not grow when we keep kind of looking at them, picking them out and saying, are they here yet? Are they here yet? Is it done yet? Without addressing the fears. And the reason for this is, the reason why the plant gets to the size that it gets to is because the roots were undisturbed. There was a period of time where it had what it needed. It was kind of in the darkness doing what it needs to do. And our fears often do that. We will talk about our aspirations and our goals sometimes, but we don't always have our fears see the light of day. And when they come out and they're shown the light of day, that helps to break them down, to dissipate them, to address them, to look at them, to do something about them. So the next time you're thinking, I really need a breakthrough, if it's around visibility, if it's around confidence, if it's around speaking, if it's around video, if it's around making an impact, if it's around anything to do with that, where you can make a difference in the world, then definitely send me a message and let me know. There's various different things that I offer. Let me know and I'll see what might be a good fit for you to do that. If you're looking for iconic visibility, you're maybe not so fearful, but you do want a breakthrough, you want consistency and you want memorable messaging, then definitely contact me. Just say, Jenny, tell me about iconic. I can send you more information. But other than that, if you would like a breakthrough and to stop feeling that underlying secret fear, then go back through this video and go through those points, and you'll notice, journal if you have to, but commit to work on doing something about it, and you'll notice a big difference to you. So thank you so much for joining me on day 65, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for 365 days of lives. Bye for now.